You ever look at a GMAT Quant problem and just feel your brain completely short circuit? Yeah, you're not alone. So many of us think the only way to get a top score is to just memorize a mountain of formulas. But what if I told you the 99th percentile scorers have a completely different secret? Well, today we're cracking open Manhattan Prep's Advanced Quant Guide, and we're going to unveil this powerful mindset that can totally transform how you approach the test. Let's dive in. Okay, just take a look at this problem. It looks like a math nightmare, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing that makes you want to grab a calculator and just start punching in numbers. But here's the thing. On a timed test like the GMAT, that is exactly what they want you to do. It is a trap, and it's designed to just chew up your precious time. The top scorers, though, they see this and their minds go somewhere else entirely. They're looking for the elegant shortcut. So what is their secret? Is it some kind of magical formula they've all got memorized? Nope. It's actually something much more profound. It's a complete shift in how they even see the problems. They've trained themselves to think differently, to value smart, efficient solutions over just grinding through the math. It's all about strategy, not just brute force calculation. We're going to call this the hacker's mindset. Think about it for a second. A hacker doesn't waste time trying to smash down a locked door, right? No way. They're looking for the open window, the unlocked side entrance. And that is exactly what we're going to do with GMAT Quant problems. We're going to find the clever, creative ways in instead of just trying to force our way through with brute calculation. And that's exactly what the Manhattan Prep Guide is all about. It's not about memorizing a bunch of one-off tricks. It's about building a versatile toolkit of strategies that you can apply to pretty much any problem you run into. So if you're ready to start thinking like a top scorer, let's dive into our first tool. So, our first tool is estimation. And I know you might be thinking, isn't that just guessing? Not at all. We are talking about intelligent estimation. It's a powerful technique that can transform a really complex, time-consuming calculation into a simple, elegant approximation. And this isn't just about speed, it's about accuracy too. So how do you know when to use this superpower? Well, the GMAT practically waves a flag at you. Keep your eyes peeled for words like approximately or closest to. And here's a big one. Check the answer choices. If they're spread way apart, you don't need a perfect answer. You just need one that's in the right ballpark. And if a problem looks like it's going to involve some absolutely soul-crushing long division, well, that is your cue to estimate. Remember that monster of a problem we started with? Let's take another look. You see that one little word right in there? Approximately. That's not just a word. It's a key. It is the GMAT basically telling you, hey, you do not need to do all that crazy math. There is a better way. So how do we crack this thing? Let's use some intelligent estimation. Instead of dealing with ugly numbers like 29 and 43, let's just round them to numbers that are way easier to work with. The first change is from 29 to 43. That's an increase of 14. So we're looking at 14 over 29. Come on, that's super close to 14 over 28, which is just 1/2 or 50%. See how easy that was? Okay, now for the second change. 43 to 57. That's also an increase of 14. So we have 14 over 43. Well, that's pretty close to 14 over 42, which is 1/3, or about 33%. Now the question is dead simple. 50% is what percent of 33%? Well, it's about 150%. And just like that, we've solved it. No calculator, no stress. Okay, so we've seen how estimation can save us from a world of pain. But what about those problems that are just plain confusing? That's where our second hack comes in. Visualization. You would be amazed at how many complex, abstract GMAT problems suddenly make perfect sense the moment you draw a simple picture. We're talking number lines, diagrams, even just a quick little sketch on your scratch paper. Check out this mixture problem. If you're anything like me, your first thought is probably to start setting up some insane algebraic equations with weighted averages and, yeah, my head is already spinning. Trying to solve this with just algebra is a total recipe for disaster. But what if we tried drawing a picture instead? And boom, just like that, the problem becomes clear. Look at the number line for water content. The limeade is 40% water, the lemonade is 50%, and our final mix is over 45%. Now, since 45% is the exact midpoint, this tells us we have to have more lemonade than limeade in the mix. Simple. Okay, now look at the sugar number line. The lemonade is 20% sugar, the limeade is 32%, and the final mix is over 24%. This tells us that the higher sugar limeade is pulling the average up. With these two simple number lines, we've narrowed down the possible ratios without a single equation. Now we can just test the answer choices to see which one sits. It's beautiful. And listen, the experts are unanimous on this one. Don't try to be a hero and solve it all in your head. Just get it down on paper. This is an absolute game changer for geometry problems. Even a quick, messy sketch can help you see relationships you would have totally missed and prevent those silly mistakes that always seem to happen when you're under pressure. All right, so we've learned to estimate and to visualize. But what about those problems that are just a sea of variables and percentages? That is where our third and final hack comes in, and trust me, it is a real game changer: picking smart numbers. The idea is simple. Instead of wrestling with all that abstract algebra, we're going to replace those variables with simple, easy-to-work-with numbers and turn the whole thing into a straightforward arithmetic problem. I love this slide because it just perfectly shows the two paths you can take. On the left, you've got the algebraic maze, a world of variables and fractions and just confusion. And on the right, you've got the express lane. And the magic key to that express lane? The number 100. For any problem involving percents, starting with 100 is going to make your life so much easier. All right, let's put this to the test. Here's a classic GMAT percent problem that would normally have you reaching for a variable like s and setting up some really messy equations. But we're not going to do that, are we? No, we're going to use our smart numbers hack and make this problem our friend. Let's just walk through this step by step. First, let's just assume the original studio had 100 students. Nice and simple. The new capacity is 45% bigger, so that's 145 students. Easy enough. Now, 20% of the original students leave, so we're down to 80 of the original students. But wait, we have a capacity of 145, so to fill the studio, we need 145 minus 80, 65 new students. So what's the fraction of new students? It's just 65 over 145. And that's it. We're done. No algebra, no headaches. Just simple, beautiful arithmetic. So there you have it. 3 incredibly powerful strategies that can completely change the way you look at the GMAT Quant section. And these aren't just one-off tricks. They're a whole new way of thinking, a smarter, more efficient way to tackle any problem that comes your way. So let's recap your new Hacker's Toolkit. First up, you've got the power of estimation to just slice right through complicated calculations. Second, you have visualization to turn confusing, abstract problems into clear, simple pictures. And third, you've got smart numbers to transform that daunting algebra into easy-peasy arithmetic. This hacker's mindset, this is your ticket to the top GMAT scores. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So the next time you're faced with a tough GMAT problem, I want you to just pause and ask yourself, is there a more elegant way to solve this? You've got the tools now. Go out there and use them.